We're gonna see if you're too tall.
Too tall, too small?
Probably not too tall.
All right, so
well, we have it.
Me.
We have it. There we go. Hey.
Yeah.
All right, we fit. Fantastic. And are we ready to get this train moving?
Chug it, chug it.
All right, here we're going.
Roll on, roll on.
Keep on going. Keep going. Keep going.
Walking.
Why am I all the way over here? I'm like almost out of the frame. All the way over here.
It's because it's your best side.
Oh, you ready?
And there we go. She doesn't. This is. I was in choir for a few years.
We just
Sit down and.
Nice.
Who are you talking to?
When?
Right now.
The audience.
Oh. Actually, I thought you were talking to our guest.
Oh, hey, hi.
That's right, we do have a guest.
We got a guest today.
Howdy, y'all. I'm Mr. Holga.
I'm Todd Puckett, and
I'm Hunter Lacey.
all right.
And this is
we got
Don.
on the first try.
Congratulations. But I don't want to forget, this
yeah.
is Don's used photo equipment.
Yes.
You were so trying to make me forget.
Yes.
This is Don's used photo
Every now and
equipment.
then. In front of the wall.
I know. So you heard it right. We do have a guest today. We've got Hunter. She is a photographer, and she also works at Lone Star Darkroom. So we're here to have a little chit chat with her to find out how how the what's the secret sauce.
The state of the photo labs in Dallas.
Well, you and I were talking today that more and more and more film is being sold, and it's only got to go one place, right? It's got to be developed and scanned and shared and all sorts of different things like that.
Now, for people who don't do their own developing,
right,
their own scanning,
right,
we have photo labs.
We do have photo labs, but we're going to talk about you first, Hunter. So,
yes.
First of all, you're a photographer too, and what kind of photography do you do? What kind of cameras do you shoot with?
Yeah, I do mostly journalism work and portrait work. I started out shooting digital. But
then she came over to the right side.
Yeah.
We
then
forgive you.
I came
we
to my
forgive
senses. I started shooting film a few years ago, but I really got into it when I was living in DC, actually, like about a year ago.
Now, you're actually from Texas, or are you?
I'm from Dallas. Was living in DC. I'm in grad school for photojournalism. So I was
at what grad school?
At George Washington University.
Okay.
Very nice.
I'm about to graduate in May, so I'm here. I'm able to work on my thesis from here.
Oh, okay.
But I was in DC. I mean, it was all online, but I was in DC, and I was taking classes and just kind of doing a formal education in photography for the first time, and was searching for new ways to challenge myself. And so I started shooting film and trying to develop it on my own. And so that's kind of how I got into film. But I do all kinds of work, portraits, landscapes, and I work with the Dallas Morning News sometimes on assignment. So
so what
so you
has
have a
been
byline?
one of your assignments?
You have byline on the photos and then
yeah, Hunter Lacey.
So what kind of assignments have you gotten from the news?
It kind of varies. It's just it'll depend on the day, but it's been portraits. Some has just been like, we need a photo of this building. Something's happening right now.
Run down and snap photos.
Can you grab some photos of what's going on?
Yeah.
Now, when you shoot those for the paper, are you shooting film or digital?
Digital.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I just want to ask, because now, when you grew up shooting digital,
can ask questions.
Oh, thank you. I had to get permission. Now, whenever you when you started shooting digital, and then you went to film, and then when you go back to digital, do you find that having worked in film, it makes you a better digital photographer, or has it?
Yeah, actually, I feel like, so I'm not good with numbers. So when I learned photography, I really struggled with like manual settings.
No.
And I eventually figured it out, but when I switched over to film more regularly, I really got a better understanding of like ISO, shutter speed, aperture, the
triangle,
trifecta.
the triangle of photography. Yeah.
Yes. It's amazing when you're shooting a film camera, so immediately you're going to load it with some film, and you're stuck with an ISO, and that's like a limiting factor, which I think is fantastic. And then you put like yourself a prime lens on there, so you've taken away your zoom. You're kind of. Now, I realize the prime lens isn't part of the triangle, but it's another limiting factor, which I think these two things make you a better photographer. Because at that point, you're limited to the speed and the aperture.
Yeah.
And, it's not that you're limiting them down, but you're trying to be better with what you have, which is kind of nice.
No, it's true. I really like actually the more I limit myself in terms of those variables, the more I'm able to focus on composition.
Focus, get it?
Got it. Oh yeah, no, she works with words.
Got all the puns, yeah. But yeah, I definitely agree.
Now we talked, and that there is something else that she does now. Now things that you do now, you do the things with the morning news. You also do work at the Lone Star Darkroom, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But you said photojournalism. So what are you doing in the photojournalism part of that?
So, are you talking about work with Moment?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I...
It's a loaded question.
It's a loaded question. Yeah.
Sorry, he was excited about that one.
This is cool.
It's a really neat company. There's a company called Moment, and they are the marketplace for all things creative. So they sell tons of gear, but they also do education, so courses. And they have an online publication where they share all kinds of fun.
They're based out of where now?
Seattle, actually. But all their employees are remote. But I got plugged in with them just a couple months ago, and I started writing for them.
She writes stories for them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can go to her one of her sites.
Stories or real stories?
Real stories.
Stories is so open. You know?
Yeah,
true. Now you've written 2 stories that's been published by them.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the stories.
So the first one is like a how-to of taking portraits of your friends and family.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
So that's, something I love. Probably my favorite thing to do is photograph my family. And I'm working on a long-term project about my family, so it just kind of went perfectly hand in hand.
Right.
So I just talk about my process and what it looks like to actually achieve a good portrait. You know, it's more than just like setting up the camera and I'm a good photographer. It's like, it's developing that relationship and making the person feel comfortable. And
yes, it is definitely. So are any of these things that you're doing, are they going towards your thesis? I mean, are these bits and pieces of everything? Is that all kind of
my thesis it's similar. It's portrait work as well. So my thesis is actually about meaningful employment for adults with disabilities. So I'm doing a portrait, or I'm done. It might continue after, but I'm finished a portrait series of different adults with disabilities at their places of work.
Okay.
And then I also am in the middle of completing a short film about a guy who has intellectual and developmental disabilities, and he's worked at a church for 17 years. And obviously now I'm very close friends with him.
And how long have you been shooting these
Todd?
photos? Yeah. Yeah. See,
he doesn't work in church. So.
No.
I was confused there for a moment. I know somebody just like that.
I know, confused, and but I was in choir. So.
Sorry, I had to. But right, so I know one of the things we're going to ask you is for
now. See, these are paying gigs too. So
that's
fantastic.
That's
great. And so I like that. It's pretty cool.
Paying photography. Oh well, paying photography. Why did you say it like that?
He caught on. So it's no free photography.
As I'm going to remind everybody, no free photography June is coming up, guys.
Yes, that's it.
So I am probably the only person in the entire club. So I'm trying to promote no free photography June. So
and
he's finally found a club he can join.
I've picked June. Well, I am the president, just like we were talking about the hair club from last year. I'm the president and I'm a client. So no free photography June. I want to try and spread the word. I've got a little Facebook, not a little Facebook. I've got an Instagram, and I'd like more people just take that into heart. I realize photography in June means no free weddings. No free weddings.
Yeah.
So I mean, photographers should be paid. They need to be paid some stuff because gear costs money. Dang it.
It does. It does. I always tell people. Do not shoot someone's wedding for free because you have to charge them. You don't charge them like $100. You have to make money so you can buy more film.
Well, my second place daughter...
it really winds up being personal for me.
My second place daughter is going to be shooting... next month is my Mrs. Holga's and I's 25th anniversary. So she's going to do a little couple shoot for us, and I'm paying my second place daughter. I mean, how could I not pay her for her work? So I kind of had to. But portrait work, which is... I always love portrait work. Because I do a bit of street photography walking around. We had a photo walk last weekend up in Denton, and when you see strangers, I'm very quick to jump on a stranger and see if I can't take their picture. And now you're saying you often kind of make people feel a little bit more at ease of the Hunter process because you obviously want a good picture. I always lean in with compliments, and that's how I can get strangers, more strangers than not, to actually say yes, that I can take their picture. Do you have any suggestions? What do you suggest for making people more at ease with their
comfortable? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't photograph strangers very often, but well, actually, that's not totally true because I get assigned assignments and I meet them and I have to take their picture.
I mean, it could be the mayor of Dallas you've never met, and
right?
You're taking his picture,
right? I feel like what I normally do is
I don't even know who Mayor of Dallas is.
Eric Johnson.
Oh, okay. No, that's the library, isn't it?
Same name.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh.
Never mind.
Eric Johnson, one of the founders of Texas Instruments.
There you go.
I think how I normally approach it is I don't bring the camera out for solid 10 minutes. So they know, the interaction is yes, I'm about to take your photo, but it's more than that. It's who are you? If we're just meeting, who are you? Are you from Dallas? What do you do? What do you like to do? Just asking questions, showing you care.
Day-to-day questions.
Getting to know them.
Yeah. Because it's, of course, as photographers, we strive for that great photo. That's exciting to us.
Oh, yeah.
But we're human too. We're meeting someone new. It's an interaction. We're making a new friend maybe.
Right.
You know, it's more than just I want to take your photo because I want a good photo.
It's not I'm here, smile, click, let's move.
Sticking a camera in somebody's face is a rather personal type thing because everybody knows the sound, they know what you're doing. They're and it's and everybody cringes. And if you don't put them at ease, sometimes you're just going to get the deer in the headlight.
It's tense.
I would rather have a nice smiling person or a person who wants their picture taken versus somebody who, I'm not into the street photographer. I'm just click and move on because that's not great. I always ask every time I take somebody's picture. And I do accept no's. If they say no, that's fine. I might still chit chat with them or something like that. I would, like I said, I always lean in with the compliments, hey, great mustache or beard or nice looking hair, or that's a lovely dress or something like that. Normally that puts people at ease immediately.
Yeah.
And then of course I often lie. Yes, I do lie a little bit every now and then. I'll say something like, I'm trying out this new camera, and would you mind if I take your picture? Mind you, I probably had the camera for years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, or I'll say it's an old film camera. I just want to see if it still works.
Yeah.
It's a great line.
You just bought it at a garage sale.
I just bought it at a garage sale. It's a Nikon F6, but is a garage sale fine, really? No.
Yeah, really. For $50. Yes, he's told us those stories before.
I do. So what else about your photography? I mean, do you do a lot of posting online, Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of good stuff?
Yeah, I share on my Instagram just stuff I'm working on or things for fun.
You're going to list all of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So go look at the descriptions below. Point like this, Todd. Down below. We're going to put that in the description so you'll be able to go check out her Instagram.
And you can read her articles that she's written. Now, you've already written other articles that will be published that are coming out.
I'm working on one right now that is a film review, a gear review, comparing Ilford HP5 and Kodak T-Max. I just went to Martha.
Notice she didn't say Kofuji.
Yeah, Kofuji. There's the whole, Kodak, Fuji making.
I'm going to keep this rumor going, guys.
Well, yeah.
I'm keeping it going.
I just saw a video this morning on that.
Mm-hmm.
Kodak's making Fuji's film, and here it is
again.
Yeah.
Wow. So I haven't heard about that.
Well, she hasn't been watching our videos.
So it's a vicious rumor that we've started.
No.
You guys are the basis.
No. We're keeping it alive.
We are the instigators of other rumors.
Oh my gosh!
That's true.
Like someone's discontinuing some film.
Only because you didn't complete the sentence.
I didn't complete the sentence, and then I got a phone call from somebody, and so anyway, we got that straightened out.
He gets in far more trouble than I do.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Fun. It's boring around here sometimes.
So of your journalism, portraits, landscapes, of these, which is your favorite type of photography?
That's a good question. I mean, I think this is a cop-out answer, but I love a mixture of everything. I think that's something I've been thinking about more as I've been working on this project about my family is a good body of work isn't just portraits. I mean, I guess portrait series has its merit, but I think that to be well-rounded, you have to have detail shots, landscapes, and the people to show a sense of place. So I think having a combination of everything is really nice. And I think it depends on the mood too. Like when I'm pretty introverted, so most of the time I really just want
She's introverted, but yet she's here with us today. So
yeah.
that's just,
Yeah.
so that's a very leading edge introvert right there. So I mean, we've had some introverts we can't get on the show.
Yes,
we tried really hard.
All
right, so I mean that's a great answer. So tell us about your film camera that you're using, and which film camera. Why did you choose this camera?
Yes, so I'm very lucky that I recently got a Mamiya 7, and I love it. I've used a lot of other film cameras that I've loved, but the Mamiya 7 has just been like the camera I've wanted for so long. I finally got one this year, and I think it's so crisp, and I just think
really
the quality
cool,
is.
Oh, which lens are you using on that?
It's I think it's an 85.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm actually not even totally sure what lens is on it.
That's how much she loves it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
She doesn't want to question it. She's got it. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
But yeah, I love it. It's so fun.
Whenever you finish with all of your projects and you're shooting the film, you have it processed, you do all that, archiving it. I mean, do you have an archiving system?
I'm pretty sure she throws her negatives away.
Oh,
I've seen the checkbox in the bottom of the form.
Do
Says,
not
discard negatives.
Do not
discard.
Do not
negatives.
need back.
Sarah,
No.
I'm going to have a shirt that's no free photography June. He wants one that says #save the negatives.
Save the negatives.
That's a good idea.
I do.
I like that. I would buy that shirt.
Yeah. If I know somebody who says he makes t-shirts.
I've made a t-shirt or two in my time.
But he hasn't made that.
I haven't made that one yet. So
okay. But
one of these days.
One of them. I'm really waiting for that day. Now, but what is your archival system? I mean, how do you archive it? What is your process on that? Because I really do push archiving negatives, especially if you're doing something like you're doing. You're shooting for projects. You're shooting for your personal self, but your projects. In 20, 30 years from now, you're going to have a collection of negatives, and people don't understand that. You know, if it's all digital, you may not have access to that.
Yeah.
So how do you do that?
Yeah, I just have binders that I keep in my desk. And once they're filled up, I start a new one. So it's like one per year.
Like Mitt Romney, she's got binders full of people.
That didn't work out well for me.
It did not work out.
It works out for her. So that's good.
Yeah.
But so I mean.
And I label. Yeah, I label the. So like I sleeve the negatives, and then I have them in little folders that go in the 3-ring, and on the folder I just write like this past weekend Marfa 2022 February, and so then I can like flip back through, and if I ever want to make a print of something, I'm like, oh, I would love to make a print of when I was in South Carolina last summer, and I just go to it and find it,
flip through.
So
yeah. And that's that again, this is one of the things that I push all the time. And I finally found a company that I can get the binders for. I got the archival sheets. And so I always push, save the negatives, save the positives.
Yeah, I mean, so,
for later on, this is going to be, I hope, such a big deal, because you're going to be going to those things, pulling out images and having exhibits.
I've photographed a couple of celebrities before who have passed away, and I couldn't find the scanned image on the computer, but I could find the negative and rescan it in a minute, because it's like, oh, well, I know where that was. It's right here, and boom, I've got it.
Yeah.
Of course, the old original scan negative is on a hard drive that's no longer hooked up to a computer, and that's why you can't find it. So that's... Mrs. Holga is constantly nudging me. It's like, look, you need to get some of this stuff printed, because it's all in your computer, and nobody can see it in there. So.
No, they can't. They can't. So all of this now brings you up to modern day. And modern day is you're now spending your time working with Longstar Darkroom.
Yes.
So how did that come about? How did you connect with them on this?
Yeah. So I joined the co-op years ago, like back when it was first starting.
With Matthew or?
With Chris.
Oh, with
Chris.
Right
when Chris had just bought Lone Star.
Okay.
But I didn't really, I was very intimidated by the developing process. So I was like, Chris, you can develop my film and I'll scan it. And
What was your biggest holdback on developing your own film? I mean, what did you think was the scariest part of this?
well, I mean, I knew so little. I just thought if I even tried, I was bound to ruin it. Like, I thought that the process just seemed so complicated and insurmountable. But it's actually just following instructions and paying attention.
Yeah.
But it was very
Yep.
it was very intimidating to me.
Until you've done it, you don't know.
Yeah.
So how did you how did you feel the first time you developed another person's roll of film and it came back blank? Because it's happened, right?
I've yet to make someone
see?
else's
Oh.
roll.
I mean, because I've done my own film,
Somebody else's
and I've had a ruined film before.
Now,
and I hate it, but I can't imagine developing and doing somebody else.
But your own roll of film, though.
Yesterday I ruined rolls of my film.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
no!
Yeah.
What were they of?
They were of Marfa this weekend.
Oh no!
But they actually,
So now I have to go back.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
they actually kind of came out cool in an interesting way.
You can still see the images then.
Yeah, what I did was I wasn't thinking, and I had like a tall developing tank, and I didn't put enough chemicals in, so it came out all kind of like wishy-washy.
Okay.
Man.
But then the colors look terrible, but I just scanned them as black and white, and they actually look kind of fun and funky. I just posted them on my Instagram.
Okay, we got and that will be linked below.
Definitely
Go
so.
to our Instagram. Check out the photos, make comments.
Yeah, about how I mess up.
No, how it turned out.
No, it says lovely black and whites. I love your choice.
I love your. How did you get that effect on your black and white photos? But that's what I always tell people is that a lot of times, it's like people will actually buy out of date film to try to get effects like
Right.
that. They are willfully trying to do something like that.
Yeah.
Now you have a way to turn your everyday photo into something like that.
Yeah.
By not putting the chemistry in there properly.
Yeah. I mean, that's my secret hack is don't use enough chemicals. You'll get some cool photos, I guess.
My secret hack was using chemistry that was out of date, and I ruined some rolls, and it's like that's not fun. But because I love pulling off a roll of film and it's got images on it. It's like Christmas morning every time. It's like, ooh, look at this. I mean, it's like
so cool.
I made this happen. Even if it's just the developing process, it's still pretty cool.
But how old was that chemistry?
Oh, well, I mean, that was you're right.
It
was probably a couple months older than it should have been. So.
Yes. He waited a
little
bit too long.
I shouldn't have, but I did. And now I've learned a valuable lesson.
So you joined the co-op
yes.
not to work with Lone Star Darkroom.
Yeah.
That's part.
But just to use Lone Star Darkroom.
Yeah. And then...
Now you use Lone Star Darkroom to develop your film and make prints.
Right.
But she was scared of developing her film.
So I didn't.
You gotta learn somewhere.
So she didn't do.
Yeah.
So what was whenever you joined it then and you weren't developing your own stuff? What were you doing then? Making your prints?
I was just like scanning, getting digital files basically, and using them. However,
using it as a scanner.
Okay. Yeah, basically.
Okay. Then your first step away from that was into developing, or are you doing the print side at all?
I do print some.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's another thing. There's a huge push by companies like Ilford to take your negative, make darkroom prints of them.
Oh yeah.
Not just scan, but make darkroom prints.
Well, really as you said in the last building, you refreshed all your paper over there recently. You just restocked it. I mean, there's a lot of people who are making lots of prints right now.
Oh, I stocked up the paper to get ready for the schools coming back.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I sold a lot more than I had planned for.
Okay.
So September is going to because September is always a lot more than January. So I plan to have boxes and boxes of darkroom paper over there. Yes, but I'm sorry.
No.
Back to you. But yeah, so you went from scanning to getting into...
Yeah, so I finally... Well, actually, I didn't start developing on my own until I was in DC. I didn't start developing at all. So I was in the co-op for years, just having Chris develop my film. And then I moved away, and I was like, well, I have to figure something out because I can't not have film in my life. So
I need film.
Yeah.
I need film.
And I need to see the results quickly. So I was very antsy, and I reached out to Chris actually. I was like, I really want to I want to develop film, but I'm intimidated. What should I do? And so she told me about the Cinestill kit that you can buy.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. Is I just ordered it online, and that was.
She probably watched
December.
your video on how to run the Cinestill.
No,
right?
she didn't know that. So.
I didn't.
See.
Sorry.
Yeah. I knew the answer. That's why I didn't ask it. I knew the answer.
But
I gotta try.
Yeah, I know.
the instructions included in the box are so easy to follow, and
Well,
He had a problem
yet,
with that.
Yet I still, but they're super tiny type too.
Now, when you get older, this
Yes.
is going to be a problem.
Sure.
Now, for her eyesight's
I
like,
still have 20/20
Yeah.
vision. So.
yeah. So, bragger. Yeah,
But-
I'm legally blind, but my eye doctor said, yeah, but we can correct it.
Oh my gosh!
So thank you. But I am legally blind because,
Wow.
but I by that, it doesn't mean I can't see it. It's just, I mean, everything's a blur, everything. So anyway, back to you.
So developing now for you, no big deal.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask though, when you were in DC, how was the stores, the photography stores situation in the DC area? Did you go to any of the photography stores?
I just went to one.
Okay.
One time I really didn't venture out to.
One time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really didn't venture out of the photography stores much. I probably because I was in a new city and I was in grad school, so
Yeah,
I was
and you're
just
busy.
swamped and overwhelmed.
Mhm.
But yeah, I didn't honestly check out the DC photo stores that much, unfortunately.
We were hoping to get a report
I
back.
know.
Yeah, it was a
on
missed
great camera
opportunity.
stores.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
and also, did anybody have as much film as me there? So that's what I really want to know.
Yeah.
Did any have as many boxes around the places?
No, nobody
probably
matches
not.
it as many empty
Nobody
boxes as I do. I got empty boxes everywhere. But you got, so then you came back to Dallas, and that's when you got back in. That's when you actually started doing your own processing instead of just scanning.
Right. So I was doing processing in DC,
Mhm.
but then when I came back to Dallas, I told Chris I was coming back and wanted to rejoin the co-op, and she was like, "Sure, of course." And
Sure.
then she messaged in our like co-op group one day,
Mhm.
is anyone interested in working at Lone Star? And I was like, yes, of course. I like from the moment I first walked into Lone Star, even when I was still like terrified of developing, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like just developing and film is just magical to me, and still is, like since the same as like that first day when I walked into the darkroom for the first time. And so the thought of getting paid to do that was like a dream, and it's been one of my favorite, maybe my favorite job I've ever had. It's so like I feel so lucky to work there. So
Yeah.
On two.
Oh. So you were. Oh, see now this. I always forget.
I'm
It's
saying
like,
This
Lone
is what I do.
Star.
This is what I do. I
I
will
know.
sidetrack him.
Yeah.
my train goes off the track.
It's
It's easy to do that. But you got back, and then she basically hired you to work part-time there.
Yep.
So you're doing this
Mhm.
part-time.
Yep.
Now you got 3 things that you're doing for a job: morning news, the moment
Mhm.
writing, and now
Lone Star. Yeah. I definitely, the work with the Dallas Morning News is way less frequent, whereas like Moment and Lone Star is every week. But
So you write an article every week for Moment, or
I mean at this point I've been working on an article every week, but I also just started in the last month or so. So
that's still pretty good though.
Mhm.
3
Oh,
articles. I mean, I think by all the times that we've been talking, we've probably only come up with about 3 or 4 things that we'd actually write about if we did that out of the years. I mean, you've already got 3 down.
well, it's
like
hard
a
to come
month.
up with topics.
We'll help you with
definitely.
that. We'll help you with
Okay.
that. We know some things.
a few things. A few things. Yeah.
A couple of them may be interesting.
Some Volkswagen Beetles.
And no, I don't think that's. Oh, well, taking pictures of them.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Yeah. That's his favorite subject.
Oh.
One of them.
One of many.
One of
Yeah.
them. That's what I said. One of them.
So you're at Lone Star Darkroom.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Back at the ranch.
So, now, what I've talked to you about before we did this is that I want, if you could, kind of give us an overview of the photo labs in the DFW area. I mean, working with Chris, and Chris is just, she's a nice, fun person, very knowledgeable about everything, not just with her darkroom, but with everything else going on with the photo labs around the DFW area. What is your impression about the state of how things are for photo labs in DFW?
Yeah.
That you kind of picked up from Chris.
I don't think she's worked at all of the photo labs.
No, she hasn't, but just she's heard stories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Rumors.
Rumors.
think-
Oh, he wants rumors.
Rumors.
Oh,
We've
see.
heard
See, I
gossip.
have to ask the question to get into the question. He wants some rumors.
Oh, no,
do you
just
have
the
any
stories.
dirt to dish on
Yeah.
the photo labs?
A
Because that's
gossip
really what he
sesh.
wanted.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
We can head that direction.
Yeah, all right. That's what he really wanted.
But I just want to know what
Yeah.
is the photo lab industry? How is it doing? I mean, is it?
I mean, I feel like it's really thriving, which is cool to
Yeah.
see. I mean, I'm in my late 20s, so I was like, film was kind of coming out of its
Hibernation.
fashion when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then it's been cool to see it come back. Sort of, I feel like towards the end of my college years, people started
Yeah.
shooting film more.
More as an artistic medium than anything else.
Right.
I mean, that's
Right. And it's been really exciting. I mean, obviously, as someone who loves film, it makes me really happy to see. But I know from what I've heard from Chris, who's like more involved in in the scene of, since she owns Lone Star, I think all of the dark rooms are very busy and full of film to process and scan, and it's even, you know, it's to the point where it can be difficult to turn around things quickly because there is so much film coming in.
There's so much stuff.
Which is pretty amazing. Like before I worked at Lone Star, I knew that there were people who shot film, but I didn't know the extent.
She's heard of them.
Yeah. I didn't know that the extent to which people were shooting film, and it is very prevalent. So.
They're called photographers.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting is though is that you've had somebody where you know who, and you know who, but you've had somebody who's from out of state now. Actually, was in Fort Worth for a long time. Comes back now every now and then, but last time I talked to him, he said that there were 0 photo labs in Chicago. 0.
Wow.
That's crazy.
None in Chicago. Chicago has a huge history of photography.
Well,
Yeah.
right, but not film anymore.
Not
apparently.
not photo labs now.
That's so strange. I'm
And-
sure there are people that shoot film there. They
Oh.
must just have to send it off.
They do shoot,
Yeah.
but the whole city doesn't have a single photo lab.
Hmm.
DFW has at least 7 to 9 photo labs in the area.
Yeah.
And that's what boggles my mind.
Yeah, that is strange.
And, you know, I mean, so in the time that you've been there, how many years have you been working?
I've only been working at
Yeah.
at Lone Star since last year.
Okay.
But have been a part of the co-op since 2018, I believe.
During that time, though, that entire time, you have seen a big increase in the amount of film that has gone through there to be processed and scanned.
Well, and the size of the co-op. I mean, there's always people on the wait list, and the co-op
It's
is
good to have a
so
wait list.
big. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
amazing. So
There's a huge, and the reason why there are limited numbers because of the size of the space that y'all have.
right.
I mean, I've talked with Chris about this over the years too, and there are a lot of, you know, there's not a lot of space where she is.
Right.
So ergo, you just can't have, you know,
You're
100
limited.
people in there.
Right.
And it is a long waiting list. And some of the people, one person has waited there like over a year
Mhm.
before they got in. And it's interesting.
Yeah.
But the number of rolls of film during that time that you have seen has just gone up, 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 and up.
yeah.
It
for
really
sure.
hasn't stalled at all. It just continues to go up. And I've enjoyed this relationship with the Lone Star Darkroom because they're 3 blocks away from us.
Yeah.
But they don't have a storefront with somebody sitting at the counter that you can go in and go,
You're their
Hi.
receptionist.
I'm the receptionist. I'm the one that gets all of the, where's my film? I'm just the pickup and drop off. And a lot of people walk in here wandering around like they're lost going, is this Lone Star Darkroom?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then I'll throw him on edge a little bit
Yeah.
because somebody will say, "Hey, do you develop film here?" And I'm like, "No, he doesn't, not at all,
Not at all.
One late, and of course you can see
How
his
many-
mouth is open. It's like he was about to
It's
launch
a-
into his
Oh my
spiel.
God.
He wants to be. He has this perfect thing. I am.
You push a button and my thing, it just like, do you develop film here? No, I do not develop film here, but I am the pickup and drop-off point for Lone Star Darkroom.
Right. You need a Lone Star Darkroom jingle, so you can
I
just
do.
sing it to them. It's just,
Da, 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 da. But that being said, I like as I'm sitting here looking at you, there's the forms to fill out to put your film in for Lone Star Darkroom. Here's the one that needs to be picked up and taken back to the darkroom. And over there is a group of things that you sit there and need to come in and pick them up. Once you get them processed, they need to be picked up. Keep your negatives. Don't lose
right,
them.
Hunter. So you're probably not aware of the film photography trifecta.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Go
This
for
is
it.
ours. This is
It's
our
the store
version
trifecta.
of the triangle, the
Okay.
trifecta. Somebody walks in and
Yep.
says, I have film that needs to be processed.
Uno.
Uno, you give it to them. They start filling it out. And they say, well, I'm here. I need to pick some my old negatives up. And I said,
Dose.
and they pick it up and I hand it to them. And they say, and what I need to do is, can you hand me about 5 rolls of this, a couple of rolls of that?
Trace.
3.
The trifecta.
So drop off,
Beautiful.
buy, and
Buy.
pick up.
And pick up.
Mhm.
That, and I've had one of those today, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I tell him he needs to get a bell so he can ring it every time.
Yeah, but every time I start saying the trifecta, they go, yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up already.
Yes,
And if I'm ringing a bell, which every time you say that, I think of Long John Silver's. You ring the bell as you walk out the door that you're happy. Were you happy with, or did you enjoy the food? Ding, ding, ding. He's like,
So you've been working there for about a year now.
sorry, we get sidetracked.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
I
totally
try
fine.
everything. I try and keep things on
that's
track.
his
That's
true
my
purpose.
job. So, and you said you didn't have a lot of tips and tricks, but what are some of the common things that you would do every time that you need to have to do while you're developing film? I mean, that are super. What is you do in your regular
Yeah.
film developing or scanning? Because mind you, you scan as well.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. I would say with developing, it sounds obvious, but like follow the rules always
Yeah.
and stick to them, because when you do that, there's not a whole lot of room for error. I mean, stuff still
Yeah.
happens, but like following the temperature, the agitation, and like just always sticking to that and not ever letting it like
Your
go
routine.
longer than it needs to.
You just develop a routine.
yeah.
Develop.
get it,
Get
I
it.
get it. Develop a
Develop
a
a
routine.
routine.
Got it.
Yeah, there's an app called Massive.
There's an app for it.
No,
Oh.
massive film.
Develop or
Yes,
Dev, Massive Dev that I love. It's $10, which kind of sucks, but
It
and it's
costs
only-
money.
Yeah,
I've had it for so long, I forgot it costs money.
Yeah, I mean it's only a one-time payment, so it's fine. But it's just for black and white. But you
There's also a free website, guys, for the very same
Yes,
chart.
true.
It's on the website. But if you want it on your phone,
True.
which includes a timer, and you
Yeah.
could switch it over
and it
to
tells
a lot of
you
things.
you
when
could switch it over to
agitate.
red light if you wanted to,
Yeah.
like if you were developing ortho out in the open.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that's been that was really helpful for me when I started developing black and white for the first time, just to have something that's telling me this is when, if you're doing it by hand, like this is when you're supposed to be agitating, this
right.
is when it's sitting. And then with color, having if you're doing it on your own, like having a kit is, I think, makes it a lot more approachable, because you have instructions that are like,
Yeah.
3.5
Right.
minutes at this temperature, agitate for this time,
Yes.
Yeah, but his problem with it, whenever you did your Cinestill kit,
Right.
your problem is that it was a footnote. The temperature.
Well, the
Oh,
initial
yeah.
mixing temperature,
Totally.
it said mix all this stuff, but then there was an asterisk and I didn't read it. And then afterwards, it says, it has to be at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm like, it'd be nice if you just said mix at 100 degrees Fahrenheit
No.
in the
Instead
thing.
of-
Totally.
So you had that.
I know exactly
issue.
what you're talking about.
Say, I'm not the
Yeah.
only one.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not just me.
No.
Yeah, I remember the first time I used the kit, I was like looking at the instructions for a really long time. Like, wait, this asterisk means this. Like, it's yeah.
Well,
it was
and
a
the
lot.
other thing they did was they had white type on a red background, which was very hard to
And
read. I'm
itty
like,
bitty.
and,
I mean,
and
did you-
tiny,
Yeah, it
super
was
tiny.
tiny.
Like
I
we're
was
talking
like-
less than 8 points.
Even
I'm like,
with
Yeah, that's
20/20
true.
vision,
Yep.
she had
no,
problems
it's,
reading it.
it's true. I did forget.
it
about
was
that.
so much better
Yeah.
just to go get the PDF and print it off in full size.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's definitely.
I mean, I
true.
brought the instructions in and showed you.
Yes,
agree.
yes,
It was
I
tiny.
saw it. It was tiny, and then with the asterisks on there, and you had to go sit there and match
Yeah.
the dots.
So what about scanning? What makes a good helps a good scan for you, other than great
well,
equipment?
That, and then also, what films have you found to be the best scans? I mean, like, what film scans the best? That was,
well, okay, so
in your opinion,
for like,
in your opinion,
using a scanner that's like a Noritsu where you just feed it in. I mean, keeping your scanner clean and calibrating it regularly is really like the thing you should be doing. Otherwise you're going to get scan lines, just like digital noise.
Is that like 10 lines?
No, not nearly as sexy. Not sexy at all.
Yeah, not a good look.
No.
But on a flatbed, I mean, definitely there's like a lot more variables. So using film holders is helpful because it's going to be a lot sharper rather than having it flat on the flatbed. Just the definition isn't going to be as there.
Right.
And then also if you're doing color, you can use like Silverfast is great because it helps with toning, but you also are going to want to like experiment with your own toning, whether in Silverfast or afterwards. I found that I like to get the color that I want. Like I usually go into like Photoshop after and mess around with curves.
Sure. I mean, so what do you do for customers? I mean, what do you do for a standard? I mean, do you just let the Silverfast do a basic job and just call it a day, figure they're going to make the adjustments themselves?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I know you're saying like other than software, what is a good scan, but like Silverfast is really awesome.
It's good. It's good for color. It's really good at removing dust, which is the bane of my existence when it comes to the dust. But it's not good at removing dust on black and white because it has, it's less of a definition issue that it can actually handle that. So.
Yeah. So whenever I'm doing a customer order on a flatbed, after I do any toning adjustments needed, which is pretty minimal, I'll take it into Photoshop and I dust correct every single image. So going in and like spot correcting everything.
All right, but I know what my number one. What is the number one thing that you guys do to keep as much dust off the film as you can?
Oh, yes. Good. Yeah, good question. So we use either like the canned air or the little squishy thing. Well,
I know, but after you pull it out of the water, after you're done processing it, how do you keep the dust off of it?
Well,
I'm assuming you have a drying box or something like that.
Yeah. So we do like the rinse that helps keep it clean and
hypo, photo flow, all that kind of stuff.
Helps the chemicals like dry appropriately. But then we have like this hanging mechanism in the darkroom that we hang everything from there, and they all are. It's
just out in the open. It's not actually in a box like this.
We do actually have a box as well, but we have like a drying rack basically, and then we have a box that we hang things into. But honestly, it feels like the darkroom is like a really at Lone Star is like a good controlled space for dust because I don't usually have very many issues with dust.
Well, it could be a humidity factor. I mean, because at my home where I live, I don't it's not a lot of humidity. And normally when I dry the film, I dry it in the bathroom where there is more likely going to be higher humidity because of a shower or something like that. So normally that's how I
keeps it dust.
But of course, what I'm about to say is that I normally it's the squeegee. But if I can get most of the water, off of it and then hang it up, I get less spots and I get less dust. And I didn't know if there was something that the Darkroom is doing, Lone Star Darkroom is doing that would be along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, Chris develops most of our film, and I would say that she probably squeegees pretty often.
What? Somebody else squeegees?
If he didn't have Mr. Hoga as his moniker, it would be Mr. Squeegee.
Mr. Squeegee.
Yeah, because he loves the squeegee.
Mr. Squeegee.
He does. He talks about it all the time. And that was one of his recommended gifts for Christmas.
It's every year. I recommend that
Birthdays, Christmas, or mitzvahs, whatever. It's just a squeegee.
Yes, absolutely.
So, there we go.
See, I haven't said that in a while. So
no, you haven't. See, look.
Actually,
I got a smile.
I said it twice in the last.
Yeah, he did. But yeah,
we have a few choice words we don't say a lot.
Exactly.
See, I know if I pointed to him enough times, he'll get the other word.
No, but the other thing is, we do a lot of work with Lone Star Darkroom. But if you go to my Facebook page, pinned to the top is a list of all the photo labs in the DFW area.
Yes.
And just to show you that it's a growing, thriving community.
I like that they're busy in Dallas. I like that because I know over in Garland, 2 here in Dallas. I know there's
3.
over in 4. Well, there's
Oak
2.
Cliff.
There's Legacy Photo Lab. I like the fact that these film processing places are busy.
Yeah.
I mean, so not only are the photographers getting out and shooting more film, but they're actually getting them developed. It's not just being thrown in a drawer and forgotten about and things like that, and which is some cool stuff. So,
how many customers ever actually ask for like a darkroom print? Y'all don't get a lot of that, do you?
We don't usually do wet lab prints. We usually just use the inkjet just because it's quicker.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Quicker.
But it is really fun to make darkroom prints.
And y'all do have enlargers over there, right? For your community, darkroom community, and you are now using them too, aren't you?
Yeah. I made a lot of prints in the fall just for myself for fun.
But now you're making prints for your degree.
Yeah. I did inkjet.
Oh no!
I'm the worst.
No. I was in there going, let's go with the whole darkroom print thing.
Well, the only reason, honestly, is because I didn't have the ability to make a print as big as I wanted it to be. Because they're 25 by 25, and you just don't have like the space to do that. So that's why true. I wanted to do it in the darkroom, but I couldn't. So.
We all have to accept our limitations.
Yeah.
Well, yes, that's it. I understand.
So is there a next big project coming up? I know you're working on your thesis, but do you have something in the future you're thinking this is where I want to focus my photography and I want to go off and do this, so this be really cool?
Yeah, I think the project I'm working on about my family, and it's about Texas too, because that's where I'm from.
Is it going to become a book, a zine, whatever?
I'm not sure yet. I think, it's so early. I feel like, but that's kind of like where I want to put my focus on for the next couple of years, is just building that. And then I think it would be really cool to make it into a book someday.
Cool. Now, do you kind of want to, is there a particular field you want to kind of move more? Once you get your degree, do you want to do more portrait work with newspapers, more writing, photojournalism?
I really have loved working for Moment, and I've really admired them for a long time. So I think, right now I feel like lucky to be able to say that to just keep working at Moment and Lone Star. I mean, I've been in photography not very long, for 5 years, but this is the first time that in my life that I felt like, this is where I would like to be
into a career. She's young. She can do anything.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, are there aspirations beyond? I mean, or take this and eventually one day just be the boss of Lone Star Darkroom and just go, this is my kingdom. Don't mess with me.
No, that's funny because my husband Grant always says that he thinks I should try to start my own darkroom someday, or I don't know, but I really, at least right now, I have no desire. I really love working for Chris.
Well, you gotta have fun while you're having fun.
Absolutely.
But no, I think working for Moment has been really cool, and I do enjoy working with publications, so just keeping pitching ideas and seeing what happens. It's intimidating to reach out to editors, but at the same time it's what do you have to lose, So just I'm always sending out cold emails to people with ideas and sharing my work and then seeing what happens.
Hopefully somebody on here will see your work too and share it with others, and hopefully they'll come back and say, hey, can you write about this? Or can you take photos of this?
Yeah.
But so you are at the Lone Star Darkroom. You do work there, but like most people in life, you've got other things that you do too. And other passions, and you got a wedding. Do you ever want to shoot weddings or anything like that?
I am too I cannot have that responsibility.
It is a lot of responsibility.
I couldn't. I've shot one wedding and I was terrified that I was going to ruin it, but it ended up okay.
Yeah. Just being a backup photographer at a wedding is terrifying, because you're still worried that the shots aren't going to come out.
Especially if you have to shoot, or if you do shoot film.
Oh yeah.
Mean,
I'd be scared.
I would tell you, I had today a local photography photographer, the assistant.
Was it a photographer him or a photographer her?
Photographer her.
Okay.
She's the assistant.
Okay.
They came in and bought 80 rolls of Portrait 400 120 and 80 rolls of Portrait 800 120. They walked out with 160 rolls. And then what I loved about that wasn't the most exciting part. It was great. The next thing that she said was, we'll be back in a few weeks.
All right, hot dog.
A few weeks. I'm sort of going, wow, I thought this was like for the rest of the wedding season.
It's gonna last the
Super
whole
Bowl's
year.
over. Wedding season started.
I had to explain to him
I didn't know
when
that.
wedding season was. It's
Oh.
after the Super Bowl,
After
before
the Super Bowl.
football starts.
Yeah.
I
So-
actually didn't know that.
That's what the official wedding season.
Okay.
It's after,
We are
after
in the
Super
middle
Bowl.
of the official. We're not in the middle. We've just begun the
Beginning.
official wedding season.
Fun.
And they came in and got 160 rolls of film to go and shoot a wedding.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there going, all for one? Wow. That's
All right.
amazing.
Well, Hunter, thank you very much. Enough about you. More about me. I've got a
Yeah.
small surprise
yeah.
for
Okay.
Todd.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me do a quick little check here. Let's see. What is that time? Is it 23 or 27?
I don't know.
It says 23. All right, great.
All right. We got enough time.
So we have enough time.
Yes.
So I'm going to go. I
You want me to turn my head?
No, you don't have to turn your head. All right. So the other day, this is for you, my friend.
Uh-huh.
Hot dog.
Oh, my
Aw.
word.
All right. So the
My very own Holga.
well, no. That's the Holga that you tried to sell to somebody, and I picked it up, and I'm like, no, it's stuck. It's not working. The customer was going to have a bad experience.
Yes.
So I took it home to get a little lube. It's got like a couple drops of gun oil in it, so it's freed up. That. But I'm like, you know what? While I've got this thing, I can kind of fix it up.
Yeah, you did.
So I said, you know what? Let's take it apart. Let's put a nice little gunmetal two-tone paint on this sucker.
Yeah. I'm sitting there going, this wasn't what it was.
No, it was black.
Yeah, and it doesn't.
It's fresh paint as of
Yeah.
yesterday. So
Yeah.
I painted the
Awesome.
top, the buttons, the lens here.
So do I keep this as my personal one, or you want me to
No, you
sell
can sell it.
man.
You can
I don't
sell it
know.
to somebody who shoots film.
Oh, like I don't.
You don't.
I don't have time.
You don't
but
have time.
I don't. I do. This is
That's
awesome,
awesome.
man. Yeah, and it's the click,
Everything
click,
works. The
click,
flash
click, click,
works.
click,
Everything
click,
works.
click.
It's all good.
Cool.
Yeah, and the
It's Mr. Holga certified. I know it
different,
works.
That's so cool.
color gels in front of the flash.
That's so fun.
So what I was thinking, this is I was thinking about taking a few more apart and doing this kind of paint job to some of them. But I figured I would start with this one.
So you took your hat off and put your Dr. Holga hat on.
Yes, I took it apart. The patient survived, guys.
Dr. Holga's handiwork.
Yeah.
Right here. Thank you. This is gorgeous, man.
Yeah.
I really do kind of want to go shoot it.
Well,
You
maybe
should.
you should.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
know.
12 shots, no problem, right?
No
Real
waiting.
quick.
12 shots, no waiting.
And if only you had someplace to give the film to.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
don't know where you
I don't
could
either.
I don't even know where you could get the film.
Do they even
I
make
don't-
film
do they even
anymore?
process
They don't
it?
even make film anymore. Oh, man. I know they do because I just got hundreds of rolls in recently. Oh, thank you very much. That's awesome.
All right, guys. So that's essentially going to wrap it up for us right now. Please do, as always, share, like, subscribe, tell a
Yes.
friend, tell two friends.
Yes, tell everybody.
Tell Mama Holga. And why should we tell Mama
Why?
Holga?
Because she's missing her little baby.
That's right. I still have her lens baby, and if
Yep.
she ever watches the end of one of these videos and asks me for
Hi,
it, I will
Mama
give it
Holga.
back to her. Oh, and speaking of which, you made
Yeah.
a suggestion. I'm gonna pass it along to the end.
Okay.
We'll put it at the beginning of another video.
What was my suggestion?
If the Mr. Holga YouTube account gets 100 subscribers,
yes.
I
yes.
will make a video.
Yes. But he won't make it until he gets
I will not
100
make a video
subscribers.
until. So right now I have 14 subscribers and no videos.
Mr. Holga,
If I get
Okay.
another 86
you got
subscribers,
one more
I can go
subscriber.
subscribe.
All right.
I'm gonna need 86 more people,
No,
and then
no.
I will go do a video.
80,
Well, she's gotta
85.
do it first. Now, come on.
I take her at her word.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
trust her word on this. So 85 now.
95. So
All right.
that's gonna be it for guys.
All right.
We'll see you next time. Later, y'all.
Thanks.
And-
Thank
up.
you.
Up.
No, we're already out.
See, it's like let's redo this. Oh man,
He's ruined it.
Ruined
He's
it.
ruined it.
I'm
He
sorry.
hesitate. You can't
we
hesitate.
didn't give her enough time getting ready for that.
I mean, she saw us come in and sit down.
I know. Well, it was such a wonderful conversation. She forgot.
I tell you what. All right.
All right.
Maybe next
Next
time.
time.
Next time.